Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, where scandals get subpoenaed and the famous are forced to face the facts. Tonight, the courtroom, I'm telling you, is hotter than ever as we dive into lawsuits, lies, and lethal accusations shaking up Hollywood, hip hop, and high society. We've got a boxing champ caught in a multi-million-dollar gambling scam. We got a comedian canceling shows under misconduct claims. A rising rapper is gunned down in broad daylight, and a rap queen is getting sued for allegedly weaponizing her fan base. And let's not mention a music mogul beating RICO, well, at least for now. And yep, you're right, it's Diddy. And oh, someone stole an NFL star's dog and diamonds. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. So buckle up. Court is now in session. Before we get started, let's introduce our legal beagles that are joining us tonight. One that's been away for a while, but she's back better than ever. That is attorney Simone Redwine. Redwine, welcome back to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion.
Hey, y'all. So happy to be here. I am back from house arrest. And if I do look a little different, it's because my face is now settled. I went and I got a facelift, a new face in Turkey. Hey, y'all.
Not a new face. Did they throw the old one in the trash can?
It's in the trash can. My little nose.
Hey,
I gotta get back on that Zepic. Gotta put that in my belly because now my face look a little fat, but it's because I gained 20 pounds. It's fine.
Let me tell you something. That Ozempic can have your ass tired as hell. All right. Also, Jordan, don't forget to throw that red wine emoji in the chat for Simone Redwine. Welcome her back to Celebrity Court. Jordan her is that fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Shatan Turner, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to be with my girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, honey.
And joining them, the author of Shit They Didn't Teach You in Law School. I always mess that up. That's why I keep the book here. It's called Shit They Never Taught You in Law School. Author Jason Weiss. Attorney Weiss, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor. Very happy to be here. And I guess I'll have to be the clown tonight because we got no Sean Carter, so I'll be the clown.
You're gonna have all the jokes. All right, let's get into these cases and see who walks, who falls, and who gets roasted in this court of public opinion. Be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you already subscribed, be sure to hit the share button and invite the folks over to this crazy courtroom of ours so that you too can learn the law on the backs of these insane celebrities who are always getting in trouble. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. And as always, jump down in the chat because we love to hear from you. Adrien Broner, once a champ in the boxing ring, now is allegedly fighting in the courtroom. He's being sued for allegedly masterminding a $65 million underground gambling scheme that targeted NBA players. Well, that was smart. The suit claims Broner used fake sports events and staged matches to lure pro athletes into fraudulent bets. All right, if anybody's going to be fraudulent, they don't want to face Jason Weiss. Jason Weiss, Attorney Weiss, tell us what's going on here with Adrien Broner and 60. First of all, how do you trick so many NBA players out of $65 million? But this is my question. If he's found guilty, could this evolve into a federal RICO case?
Oh, I mean, look, if he's found guilty of this is going to be involved with a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of charges and a lot of things going on. And part of the problem is that, first of all, athletes aren't supposed to be betting, right? That's number one. Athletes aren't supposed to bet. You could get suspended. You can get in trouble. It's against league policy and all of that. But not only this, but he supposedly was using rigged dice as part of the betting. And that's where the big problem is. Not that these guys lost their money or that they want to get their money back, but they were cheated out of their money. So, look, he's definitely going to be in some trouble. But as of now, he still hasn't been arrested. He hasn't had a fight in a year plus, and he better get in the ring and earn some of that money back because people are definitely going to be coming to him saying, where's my money? And, it's going to be a problem. So he's being accused by the FBI of ripping off NBA players through fixed dice games. He cheated one NBA star out of 1.5 million and a former one out of $5 million. And I think we actually this we don't have any collateral for this one.
Let me go to you, Attorney Red Wine, because this is a question that I have. What's the legal liability if the NBA players were unknowingly involved?
If they didn't know they were involved, they're not liable. But what's interesting here is how this came about. It came about because Eugene, let me get his name, Big U Henley, had to surrender to federal agents. He's been accused of murder, kidnapping, robbery, extortion, and fraud. He is an LA music executive and a member of the Rolling 60s. And effectively what happened is he found out Adrien Broner was cheating these millionaires out of money through a dice game. And he's basically saying, well, this is Rolling 60s territory. You came here to LA to do this scheme and you didn't check in. So literally he sent dudes to shake up and to scare Adrien Broner. And then that's how all of this came about as part of the investigation against the music executive. So
wow,
wrapped up in it.
I still, Attorney Turner, please explain to me how he got $65 million from NBA players.
I was gonna say, ooh, I can tell you, but I'll let her go.
No, Attorney Weiss, you're all excited.
Don't give this man any money. He is dumber than rocks. He is dumber than President Trump. I mean, he is a fool.
I'm confused.
Look, these guys, we've covered this so many times. These guys that play professional sports, they think they're untouchable. They think they can't do wrong. They think that the money is never going to dry up. 1.5 million, that's nothing. $500,000, that's nothing. No big deal. I'll go, play in a basketball game and I'll make 500,000. I mean, look, and they wouldn't have known any better if it weren't for what Attorney Redwine just said, that he was running this in somebody else's turf, and that's what this all
not paying for it. Not paying for it.
So we had to start running them kickbacks.
Tell me what is the charge conspiracy to fraud mean? How does conspiracy to defraud work in illegal gambling setups? If it's illegal, like how is it a conspiracy to defraud?
Well, gambling in and of itself is not illegal, but athletes are not allowed to participate. So that's a league violation. So we'll move that. But what the conspiracy to defraud is that all of these bad actors supposedly got together and they came up with this plan where we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix these games. We're going to use loaded dice. We're not going to do whatever. So we're going to take the money from these people. And that's where the conspiracy, the plan to work together to defraud and to cheat these other people.
So it could have been he was probably working in cahoots with someone.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and he wasn't to be different.
What they're saying is that the purpose. So Attorney Weiss is right. Gambling in and of itself is not unlawful, but it's regulated by the location where it occurs. So it's possible that these games weren't set up correctly, and that would just be a violation of the gambling law. But in this case, what they're asserting is that it was all a ruse, right? It wasn't a game of chance. It wasn't designed for people to have fun and somebody to win. It was all designed to take the money away from the athletes. Yeah, some would argue that that's the whole purpose of a casino in and of itself, but those are the cynical
So wait a minute, help me understand this, attorney. So he has rigged dice. That means he has the dice in his hands.
No, they're weighted.
I don't know how that works. I'm not a dice type.
Where are they?
So the dice that are used, they're throwing the dice, right? So they're rolling the dice. The dice are
where?
On a street corner.
In craps table, on a corner, on a stoop. It doesn't matter where it is. But they're weighted.
Is Adrien there rolling the dice, or is those are dice that he made?
Doesn't matter who rolls the dice. The dice are never going to land on 7s and 11s, or the dices are always going to land on 2s, 4s, and 6s. They're dice that they're weighted, and it's supposed to be so that the fact that your chances of winning are tremendously decreased.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. No, I understand what the rigging part is, but I want to know what are the circumstances. Are they like hanging out and everybody's drinking? Some NBA players came over and they were like, "Yo, man, let's roll some dice."
Yep.
And then the NBA players walk out the house and they lost a couple $1 million.
Yep.
So the NBA players either transferred the money or they gave him cash when they lost.
They brought in cash.
Cash app, whatever else.
Man, y'all got me.
You ain't never played dice? Oh,
I played dice, but I've never lost millions of dollars.
Well, you might not have had it to bet, honey. But listen, I feel like what's really funny about this is I'm sure when Broner was doing this, there was no way in his ghetto little mind that he thought it could result in any type of criminal charges, more or less federal, right? Because on the average street corner in the hood, people scam. You scam rich people that are not from your hood. You scam them all day through dice games. That's how you come up. But I think what happened was when you start incorporating NBA players, millionaires, but getting next to Henley is what it was. If he did not involve Henley, because it's part of Henley's RICO enterprise.
Got it. All right. Wow. This is really interesting. All right, algorithms. Is Broner just a hustler who got caught, or a fall guy in a much bigger game for not paying, for being on the turf that he was taking the money from? Drop down in the chat. Let me ask you again, algorithms. Is Broner just a hustler who got caught, or a fall guy in a much bigger game because he didn't pay his taxes to be there? All right, next up, comedian Joe Gatto is known for laughs, but this week, not so much because no one's laughing. He's canceled his national tour following a second allegation of sexual misconduct. A former employee claims he made repeated advances. Gatto hasn't spoken out, but sources say he's entered into a treatment center. Bailiff, let's see some of this collateral.
Sexually assaulted by Joe Gatto, the impractical joker. I'm so sorry I was at work and I didn't think that shit was gonna blow up. I've literally been posting about this shit for over a year. And I've been DMing celebrities, other people, like trying to get my story out there. And one goddamn little TikTok that follows this little trend about a celebrity, then it fucking blows up. And you guys don't believe me. Why do you think I was... Yeah, I got sexually assaulted by Joe Gatto, the impractical joker. I'm sorry if you don't want to believe it, but the people you idolize are not always going to be good. They're going to do shitty things, and they're going to take advantage of people because of that. Like, I'm not saying it was, I think some of it was my fault. I don't fucking know how this shit works, but I just posted the proof.
That's what got me here. I have
not told you guys half of it.
All right, bailiff, 1 second. That's what got me here, lawyers, when she said, I'm not sure. Some of it is my fault. All right, Jason, I'm going to go to you real quick because first I want to know, though, let's talk about her saying that. Does that mean anything in this investigation? And also, what legal risks does Gatto face if more accusers come forward?
Well, I'm going to start with the second question first, having to do with what happens if more come out. Gatto has a very good team behind him. And when I say that, it's because he's already in some sort of rehab place getting help. That is step number one. Smart. I have a problem. It's mental health. It's an addiction. I'm whatever it is. He's getting help. So that was awesome for him as a person. I don't know him. I have no relationship with him, but awesome for him as a person, and even better for the team that's working with him. Back now, to
right here. Look at this picture right here. Right here, she says that he bit her. He bit her on the booty cheek.
Okay,
that's not a bite. That's not a bite mark.
Well, that could be a bite mark. We just don't know. And look,
she said probably going to get.
What is he, like a rhinoceros?
Hey, you know, man.
He likes a kiki.
Like a hand mark.
And it could be, it could be part of it. It could be a push. It could be, you don't know. But when the lady said on her TikTok video that maybe she started it, maybe she had some involvement, maybe. So look, it probably means that something went a little too far. And that's what I think it is. He probably made advances. She probably said, you know what? Sounds good to me. Let's go out. Let's have some fun. And when the fun turned to not so fun and not liking it anymore and saying, let's stop, he probably continued, carried it too far, which is not allowed, or he did stop, let's just say. And then she noticed what kind of bruises and what kind of things happened. And she's like, look, I didn't sign up for this.
Right.
So there's going to be some investigation, but I'm telling you, him going in to get help is going to be his saving grace here.
Got it.
So
How
he
about
previously went to rehab for alcohol, like maybe 20 years ago. So my guess is this time he's going to say it's a sex addiction, perhaps.
Yeah.
Trading one
Got it.
addiction for another.
all right, Attorney Turner, you're the civil attorney here. She's taking the civil route and not the criminal charges. What does that
No,
mean?
she hasn't. Sorry, let me shut up. That's part of why I'm weirded out by this. But go ahead, Shaitan, go ahead.
She hasn't made.
No, she's DM'd all these celebrities talking about this man, but ain't DM'd nary lawyer, has not called a lawyer, does not have a lawyer. And that's what's making me be like, okay, something in the milk ain't
That seems kind of weird.
I would call a lawyer before I go on TikTok and DM other celebrities. That's me.
She's trying to try it in the court of public opinion and to ruin his reputation and capitalize on it for her own
So she values TikTok likes more than she values charging something and trying to win some money.
Well, she might think that she's going to get money from amplifying the story, but what I would say is right now she's valuing social media more than she's valuing repercussions for him. But he's lawyered up, as Attorney Weiss indicated, because they recognize that to the extent that she changes her mind and she wants to file, he's going to have to be ready. And having a record that he has a professed addiction that he's worked on is always helpful.
And the funny part to me, this is what I like. This is why I agree with Jason, right? He knows that something kinky happened that probably went too far, right? He knows it. That's why he ran to the rehab center real quick.
Yep.
And got the lawyers. But the question to me is, I want to go back to Simone. Why is she not trying to find legal representation? That questions her credibility to me.
That would be one of the... I can understand if you tried, couldn't get your lawyer, you're like, let me tell my story. But I would just say most attorneys, we want you to tell us the story before you go to TikTok. We can protect you. We can do those things. And it was what struck me as odd is her specific wording when she said, I've been messaging celebrities to tell them this for years. This happened in 2021.
Why aren't you messaging lawyers? Right.
He's trying to get people to disassociate.
4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago.
She also, someone said in the chat, and I have to tend to agree, although what do I know? I'm not a mental health professional. She seems kind of manic in her presentation. Like she's all around. And she's like this. And so there's something else fueling this. She appears to have difficulty paying attention. Now, she might say it's all a result of her assault, but I think it's going to be really interesting before it all plays out. But I would guess that the story just goes away. Chances are that he has his lawyers contact her, they work something out, and then it just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
What do we think about? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What do we think about him canceling his national tour, though? That's a big deal. Canceling his national tour is like saying, "Okay, I'm basically not making any money this year."
So
but it's better than being behind jail.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
What'd you say,
and he's got to do that for rehab. So rehab is always a minimum of 30 days, often 60 or 90. So I don't know if he's canceling certain dates, not all of them yet, but that's to show that he's truly serious about this rehab, whatever that's going to look like. And no, the other accuser against him was someone who actually worked with him. This is a woman who met him after a comedy show. And I have to say, when you evaluate, like on the road, these comedians are doing it to all kind of people and things. Okay. So that's not unusual to have like some freaky sex after a comedy show. But I actually think the second accuser, which is someone that he hired, that he knew since she was 17, hired her when she was 18. Yeah. And didn't start making advances on her until allegedly she was 18, but grabbed her thigh and did different things. I actually think those accusations are probably going to be more difficult because he works for different networks with these shows, and these networks do not want to be associated with hiring someone who sexually harasses other staff members.
Or an possibly an underage at some point. Right. All right, everybody. These likes aren't liking. We got a large number of people in here tonight. Thank you so much for following and watching us. I bet you it's because of Red Wine. Please hit that like button for Red Wine, everybody, for Turner and Weiss and myself. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Can always share, invite some other people over. Don't forget to turn on your notifications and keep the comments coming. Colette Davis says he's setting the stage for his defense. Yep, we agree.
Yep.
The nursing game said, Harpo, who this white man? Y'all a whole mess in here, I swear. Abby NYC, the MM family says all the evidence against her is on TikTok. Oh, okay. Got it. Sarah without the H says as soon as she opened her mouth, I'm like, me too. I don't hate to be victim shaming, but she's one of those that make you go,
So that's not victim shaming. We are victim questioning.
We are victim questioning. The nurses game said, I'm sorry. Don't take it back, nurses game. We know where you're coming from. All right, coming up next, let's talk about a rapper. I have no idea who it is. Another tragedy in hip hop. Rapper Sauce Walka was injured, and his protege, Sexyy P. Yes, Sexyy P was killed in a daylight shooting in Memphis. Only in Memphis, baby. Police say it was targeted, not random. As the investigation unfolds, fans mourn and wonder, when will this cycle of violence end? Bailiff, let's see this video. Guys, this is so shocking. Look at the players involved. Let's see this video. What in the world? He did. He shot him. This is insane to me. In broad daylight. He walked right up on him and shot him.
He looks like he has
it's very clear that he was the target. That the guy to the right was the target from where I'm watching it. Because the other guy, Sauce Walka, I guess, is the one that was able to get to the hospital and survived. It was almost like they pow-powed him just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but it was like they really wanted the other one, which makes sense. The other gentleman, it was my understanding, is a Memphis rapper. And look, if you're going to get pow-powed in the middle of the day in Memphis, it was intentional.
What legal outcome?
Yeah.
What is the difference? What's the difference between targeted? Because they made it very clear that this is a targeted murder investigation. What do they mean when they say a targeted murder investigation?
So basically, it's not so much that the investigation is targeted. What they're saying is that this was not just some random act of violence. This was these gentlemen that drove up. This was intended. This was planned. This was, like Attorney Redwine just said, this was a hit. They knew what they wanted. They went in there. They did the hit. It wasn't just some random car that stopped, people got out, shot, and left. It's not a stray bullet. This was intentional, planned, and that's what they mean by a targeted act.
Let me ask you this, Attorney Turner. Let me ask you this. Is this what we're doing right now? Like, we're just doing broad daylight. Cameras are everywhere. I don't care what city you're in. So how does this play out?
This is what we're doing, apparently, because people are acting around like a bunch of fools and, gangsters. I was looking at that stance, like looked like he was training for this, right? Whatever is going on in the minds of these young men, and these have all been men that we've been talking about, it's not rational. To your point, nobody was getting away with that crime, right? So when you think about crime and committing it, it makes sense that people make a calculated decision about, I think I'm going to get away with this, and there's some rationale to it. But when you shoot somebody in broad daylight in the middle of a public street, right, you are going to be found.
Clearly.
You just are. And so then it begs the question, well, why do it? So something else is going on here. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but
we got to remember this is Memphis. That's part of what it is. Okay. The same thing happened with Young Dolph. Middle of the day, he was picking up some cookies. Pow, pow, pow. It was a music industry executive who did that. I would not be surprised if this is another Memphis music industry executive who did this. Somebody paid that little gentleman with the little tattoos on his face and his forehead. Okay, he looks like he's in need of he is in need of some funds. Somebody paid him to do that. And then when you look at him like that, he gonna go to court. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he's charged with. But if I'm on the jury, I'm gonna say he did that, whatever it is. And if he didn't do this, he got away with something else.
No, he's going to need some of that maquillage, good foundation they have on Instagram.
Cover it up.
Yeah, we need Attorney Carter here because two things. Number one, he does makeup, and number two, he would say
that man's business.
Hey, he said he did it himself on air, so I can tell that he did his own. He said that he doesn't have to worry about it. The other thing is that these guys actually listen to Attorney Carter because he says if you're the bigwig, you're not the one pulling the trigger. Have someone else do it for you, and that supports what Attorney Redwine just said.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I just want to know, and then you just like. Wow.
They found them quick.
They found them real quick. Memphis ain't playing around.
Midday. I mean, these guys have nothing to lose. Nothing.
Well, the other thing is, it's just like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how much money one could give you for committing a crime that's going to send you to prison. You don't get.
Girl, you have a future. You wouldn't know. You would not know. They can't afford you. They can afford him. He's trying to get out of his mama's Section 8 basement, okay? With the 10 other siblings / cousins / play brothers and sisters that were in there.
3 cartons of eggs. That's all it took.
Yeah, ask Danielle.
Danielle said they may have only given that man a carton of eggs. Hell, for 3 cartons of eggs, I'll call Pookie and Junebug and then.
All right, algoriters. Is this just another tragic statistic, or does hip hop need to address its own violent undercurrents? I think we as America need to address our violent undercurrents, because why is it that when something goes wrong or somebody does us wrong, the first thing we do is we want to shoot them?
Money does not give people good sense, and so chances are they came from the hood. And you can be in the hood and not be a murderer.
Memphis is an entire hood.
Yeah, from an environment where this is how people solve problems, and they just never learned another way.
He got attempted first-degree murder 2 times, and employment of a firearm during the commission of a felony 2 times, and a murder. Wow, they're throwing the book at him. Poor kid. He's never seen.
He earned the book.
They're covering this on First 48. Because it looked like they done figured out who it is. They might have made that 48.
They got it in the first 8. They got it in the first 8. Look at the sun. The sun ain't even gone down. They got it in the first 8.
Yeah,
that's the first 8.
Know that if it's broad daylight, do not let anybody convince you to commit a crime.
You got it. All right, now speaking of a crime, Sexyy Red is sued for allegedly inciting violence. You heard me. Sexyy Red is in the hot legal water, y'all. She's being sued by the grandmother of her child for allegedly inciting violence, accused of encouraging fans to threaten and harass the woman online. The accuser says she's been confronted in public and is now seeking damages. Now, more than damages, bailiff, let's see what the boyfriend said about Sexyy allegedly burning him with an STD.
Why you lying? Do all your niggas know what's going on with you? Do you tell them niggas you burning, or do you lie to them like you did me? Or is you lying to them niggas how you did me? Or is you lying? Or did you lie to me? Did you lie? Did you tell them the truth? Or did you tell them the truth? When you gonna keep it gangster? Hey. And when you gonna keep it gangster? When you gonna keep it gangster? Bitch, that's what you did. You lied to me for 6 months, and then you told me you had that shit.
Oh, she said, I hope you got AIDS.
I hope you got AIDS. After she gave
And then
him,
she said, "I don't care. I don't care if I'm burning or not." What in the world?
She looked like her pussy stank. Everybody know that she looked like a pussy stank, and she's already discussed that it does freak, on occasion. She's the one that came up. I would believe it was different lip gloss types, and one of them is called chlamydia.
Yeah, it was herpes. Chlamydia. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's just very at home there with whatever pH balance she has going on any given day.
Simone SL says she needs a bubble bath. Okay, Simone, take this one.
No, that'll just exacerbate the problem. Yeah,
she needs to put some bleach in that water and get that pH right. So here's what happened. In the exchange between the baby daddy and her, some kind of way she ended up getting upset with his mama. She then goes on social media. This was in December of this past year. Goes on social media, posts a photo of the grandma's house and her address, and tells her fans that they need to go kick in her door and whoop her tail.
Damn.
In turn, Granny had to move, and she's not even a granny. She's 51 years old. Her name is Nicole. Nicole had to get up and move. And Nicole is suing for $5 million. Here's the thing, baby. Back in the day, it's harder to get attorneys to take on a lawsuit that would not be contingency based against a celebrity for this kind of thing. But now that you get music from streaming, from YouTube, from this and that, she could get that. Granny could get that $5 million verdict and then collect against her streaming royalties. So in other words, seize that money before it even gets into Spicy Red, Stanky Red's hands, whatever we're going to call it today.
But you know what? In the chat, there's a lot of, I don't know if these are evidence-based medicine, but people have a lot of ideas and suggestions about how she can handle that problem. So
what is it?
Dettol, someone said, is a Caribbean thing. Abby said she should get a bidet to try to fix it. I mean, the chat is giving me life. Like, I don't got those issues, but if somebody does, they should turn into the chat, and the algoritm's got this problem solved.
Lume, that's that full body deodorant that they put on, during the NCAA March Madness commercials. It's on there.
A little bleach in the bath water. Is that what we got to do about the dirty cats now?
That's what the old Creole lady said. You put a little brick, just a little cat full in the back. That's what the old Creole lady said. I also heard boric acid, but that's also in roach killing spray. So I don't know if you want to put that up your cooter. I did find some at Walgreens. I just don't have the
What is Dettol?
I can't take that risk.
20 pounds of borax kills a lot of stuff. That's what they were talking about. I used to work for the Dial Corporation. We sold it, and it has a lot of medicinal things, and it also is good in killing rodents.
Okay,
have you ever put it in your vagina?
No, I haven't put it in my vagina, but I haven't had a need for that.
You got what?
Lucky you.
Abby NYC said her dermatologist says bleach is good. I'm dying. Brenda
Dettol is a cleaning disinfectant and antiseptic. It's commercially available, inexpensive liquid, safe and gentle enough to use on the skin.
Wow.
Here's the thing that I think is interesting about this story, though, and it's a lesson for me since I'm on the show and I have some people's addresses that I would like to put on and say, go beat their ass. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get sued. And so thank you, Sexyy Red, for teaching me this lesson. And thanks to everybody in the chat who sounds like they got a part-time job or a side hustle doing STD protection.
Keeping coochies clean. All right, algorithms. Is this a case of online influence gone too far or just messy family drama turned lawsuit? Algorithms, drop down in the chat. Is this a case of online influence gone too far or just messy family drama turned lawsuit? I mean, I just feel like she knows her influence by now. She did that intentionally. So I understand how she incited. That's definitely inciting.
That's what they charge it. Mm-hmm.
She was angry. Well, she's going to say it was an excited utterance and that she did not mean her any harm. But when she threw out the address
and the picture.
Listen, this sounds like a really easy summary judgment motion. We don't even need a lot of discovery. I'm just going to write the motion, attach screenshots of these things, And then now the only argument is liability. Come on, let's talk about liability and how much money should be on the table. And I believe this was filed in Georgia, in that small town Georgia. I can tell you, a jury is they know Sexyy Red is Sexyy Red, and a jury will give this lady $5 million. Now, whether she has it, she gonna end up on a payment plan like Tasha K.
Christine R said you can incite violence with your coochie.
If you're burning people, you can. Maybe not flowers.
All right, bailiff. Let's see the young man talking about more about what happened with Sexyy Red. Take a look, everybody. Rashad.
I don't think anybody wants to hear more about her.
Hello, Rashad.
Because she was right. He did tell her to keep it gangster. And she said, "Yo, mama."
Rashad, are you alive? Rashad.
I think that might have been the only.
Okay, here we go.
Why you like? Do all your niggas know what's going on with you? Do you tell them niggas you burning?
But if you don't, the outbreak, if you can't get rid of how this shit, so
no, that's the one I need to see. Yeah, no.
Hold on, y'all. I'm finna
so
go.
if y'all don't know how HSV2 type 1 or 2 work, this how this shit go. You can't get rid of that shit. If you fuck some this shit on the outbreak, then you can contract it. But if you don't, you won't contract it. My bitches dick on the future. I don't got this shit and work coming up. I ain't, cause I could buck some paperwork. If I get on her and tell y'all that, y'all know I ain't gonna tell y'all no lies on my daughter. If I had this shit, I would wear it on my chest. Fuck you talking about young boy got this.
Is he a rapper or something?
He's something.
I don't think he speaks English though. I think that was a special dialect.
No, I think they were bleeping things out because they can't.
Oh yeah.
Happy Meal said, "Oh, she got herpes."
Yeah.
Happy NYC said,
I mean,
"Man will brace his give happy lady to the puss."
I mean, I find it interesting. Maybe it's a generational thing that she had absolutely no shame about it. She doubled down. Yeah.
To me.
I don't think it's a generational
think
thing.
about it. Like Simone said, she made lip gloss called chlamydia. So, like, all right.
She's very at home in this environment.
That's crazy. Speaking of chlamydia, Diddy's breathing a little lesser this week. Oh God, what a segue. Diddy's breathing a little lesser this week. A little easier. Sorry. Diddy's breathing a little easier this week. A judge dismissed the RICO lawsuit filed by producer Little Rod, who accused him of running a criminal music empire. While the court said the case lacked evidence of racketeering, Diddy still faces multiple civil suits. All right, now, Simone, I would think that this is huge, right? Because this was the main, This was one of the main things that they felt that would get him convicted sooner than later. All right, Attorney Redwine, break this down for us.
Honestly, I think this really speaks to the weakness of Little Rod's case in whole. Now, Diddy filed a motion to dismiss the entire lawsuit, but the judge granted the dismissal in part and denied it in other parts. So here are the three claims that got to go. The claims for breach of contract, the claims for intentional infliction of emotional distress, and the RICO charge. The court said that after filing the petition and allowing him to amend the petition twice, the way in which they made and articulated these claims simply, even if we're true, do not rise to an offense under the law. So they said, you got to go, and they're out of here. The other charges all remain. So the S trafficking, the S assault, those charges do remain. But here's what's interesting. The court kicked out the breach of contract claims.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, do you know how hard it is to get a breach of contract claim kicked out of civil court? That's like a law school 101 claim, right? Not only that, but that was the original basis of the whole thing, is that Little Rod claimed that Diddy only paid him something like, I don't know, like $20,000. Right. That they had a contract, he was to produce for him and was unpaid. So what's crazy is the court claim wasn't even well written. That's the issue. It's all about how it's written. And what the court said specifically is that under New York law, which is what was governing here, under New York law, when you have a contract to perform an act and that act cannot be completed within 1 year, you must provide a written contract. He couldn't do that. That literally, y'all, in law school, did we not learn that in contracts our first year? It's called the statute of frauds. It is so basic. So it's very concerning to me that his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, was unable to even get that basic claim to be maintained.
That's crazy. The nursing game said Diddy's about to get off, literally, hashtag literally. Amp 72 said Diddy's going to mess around and walk. That's what it feels like.
No.
Jacob says, but wasn't some of his complaint based on hearsay?
It was a mess. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you guys.
This is a civil case. It's not. This is not his criminal case. So one thing has nothing to do with he's not walking. He's not doing anything. This is a civil case, breach of contract, RICO, and like Attorney Redwine just said, bad papers, bad lawyering, bad everything, bad set of facts. This is one of many, and it's funny because when we were looking at some of the topics for tonight's show, one of the stories said big win for Diddy in dismissal. And the next story that I read says,
but that's good PR.
Small win for Diddy with dismissal. So look, the only thing this is going to do is play out in the public. This means absolutely nothing. The man is still going to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Ooh,
and the only way he's
so?
getting out is oiling up and slipping out.
And here's why. So? Let me put it to you like this. Here's the simplest way I can explain. The fact that none of Little Rod's allegations have formed any of the criminal complaint says the feds did not even believe his allegations.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's correct.
So therefore, I don't think anything regarding Little Rod's case should be used to consider the credibility and the strength of the criminal case.
Okay, did anybody else notice that once it dropped that Diddy had like a little win, this new case of a photographer is now saying that Diddy made him perform oral sex on him and keep his semen in his mouth like a squirrel.
Is that what squirrels do?
Squirrels like nuts in their mouth, not semen.
You gotta get the nut first.
Oh my God, y'all are
dirty
you lawyers. I have learned from doing this show that these lawyers, baby, y'all are freaky.
We like to play with language.
And that's not all you like to play with.
But the thing is, I think that if I were Diddy, right? If I'm sitting there in my cell and I don't have anything to do except for watch time go by, I would feel encouraged because I have 2 victories, even if they're small. Tony Busby got kicked out of the Southern District of New York, and now this case gets kicked out too. And even though substantively we all know that it doesn't do anything for the overall criminal complaints, I would like to think that the tide was turning in my favor, and I would exactly in my head if I were Diddy. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But as Daniel Cameron was saying, Janice Combs is the OG. Like, wouldn't that be the ultimate thing to try to rig, right? You have legitimate charges against you, and then you have this cacophony of confusion that is done by these incompetent lawyers and other people, and then they just go away on technicalities, and then you can't be retried. I mean, that would be genius.
Russell Martin said, I don't believe nothing they say about Diddy.
Nothing. but here's the thing, right? This is a small win. This was like the bottom rung of the ladder. Like, this case never had legs to begin with. It wasn't going anywhere.
Well, didn't he get sexually assaulted? He said he woke up in bed and his booty hole was hurting, allegedly.
That happened to a lot of people.
Well, you might have a point.
What is going on in the court? Who's waking up and their booty holes hurting.
They're moving him to solitary, right? So he could be with his nuts and no booty holes. But I mean, just glory holes. What can I tell you? But
Oh my God.
I mean, this has nothing to do with his criminal case. The criminal case, that's the one that Diddy's going to be losing sleep over, because he's already in jail spending time. He should get comfy.
And here's the thing: more allegations are coming down. The grand jury is still meeting and continuing to meet. So even though that trial is supposed to start on Cinco de Mayo, he's going to get more specificity. So a deadline just what's that?
They delayed it. They
The trial?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
No,
I missed
what did they? I don't know.
I think so.
No, not yet.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Little Rod ain't worth giving his kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his pub. He's a piece of shit human, but we do not need his talent.
Is that Lil Rod?
That's
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Little Rod ain't worth giving his kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his pub. He's a piece of shit human, but we do not need his talent.
That was Diddy?
That looked like a chubby Diddy to me.
I was going to say, he put on
Maybe
a lot
he
of
was really chubby, whoever he was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every
chubby for
NYC
Diddy,
said,
but
"Let me
not
get
for
my
regular.
margaritas."
Yeah, I don't see anything about the trial date being moved. I'm just doing a
that
quick
trial
search.
date is the same.
It is. I thought
But
I
now-
saw that. Go ahead.
No, but
No.
peep this. Strategically, this is wild because Diddy doesn't want to have to spend another day in prison that he doesn't have to, right? He wants this trial yesterday. However, by now dropping the names of new victims with new specificity, now it's
It
still
keeps
under
you
the
in
same allegations. It's just giving you new names. So it's like if you
Right.
said you stole, and now I'm saying, I'm adding, to clarify, you stole from Walmart and Target. Like you already knew Walmart, but I'm adding Target. It's like that, right? But arguably, in a normal case, Diddy's lawyers will say, well, hey, we need more time for trial. And the prosecutor would be like, okay. But here, I think Diddy's lawyers don't want more time for trial, and they're probably going to argue, hey, any new names of witnesses, any of that, Your Honor, should not be admissible. But the deadline just came where they were required, the feds in the state, the prosecutor had to share the names of all the victims that are going to be brought up in trial. And so that's got to be really scary for the victims now.
So a clarification from the bailiff that was Diddy laughing about what Little Rod had said. The guy was reading what Little Rod said, and everybody was laughing about stealing Little Rod's publishing for the work he did on the Love album. So thank you, bailiff.
All right,
Months before filing a lawsuit.
All right, Algoritms, is Diddy reclaiming his crown or dodging accountability with expensive lawyers? What do you think? Drop down in the chat. Next up, last but not least, NFL star Xavier Worthy isn't fighting on the field. He's fighting in court. He's suing his ex-girlfriend for allegedly stealing his dog, his luxury clothes, and jewelry too. She's even posted the goods online. Now he wants everything returned, and he's asking for damages. Bailiff, let us see what we got. Show us how it started.
Whose scoop is that? Oh,
This is how it started.
that is precious. That's their engagement. So that's their engagement. He's 21. She is 24. He proposed last July. They met, I believe, in Houston at a ballet. They were both going to the same restaurant, and they met. He's not too much of a looker, but I mean, we're not supposed to care about looks so much. Well, he's talented.
His wallet got a good look on it.
Oh, for sure. He is a football player. I think he's got a $24 million contract and was signed to Kansas City. And she is a track star. She's a professional track athlete. And he's a graduate of UT Austin. And there she goes. Oh, yeah. Hit that hurdle, girl.
Yeah, well, she was hitting other things. She was hitting other things, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, what's the word?
Elaborate.
was cheating. Yeah, he had a
So-
private investigator. She was cheating.
Wait. Okay, we're going.
Wait a minute, he had private investigators?
Yeah, and he
Yep.
found out that she was cheating. He clearly suspected that she was up to no good, but he didn't expect that she was going to be that busy, over 12 days. But she is an athlete, and so she's got like an insatiable appetite, I guess. And so
That looks insatiable right there, baby. Look at that hair. Give it to me.
Oh yeah. So anyway, she got caught, and so then she got him arrested for domestic violence, and he is saying he got out, but he's saying that she fabricated the domestic violence claims and stole his property and his dog. What I thought was interesting is he said that she schemed to extort a home, money, cars, and other valuables. And I wanted to know how she was any different than any of the other ladies we've talked about who date professional athletes. So I didn't understand anything. I know that's shade, but yeah, that is where we are. So they look really cute. They're young. Track stars don't make what football stars do, and he should have just made a donation.
He probably let's see the house.
He was in love.
Let me see that picture where she tore that house up. It started with roses. It ended with this. And what is that? She
Oh my
pulled
God,
his hair
no,
out?
that is his scalp. That's his scalp. She pulled out his dreads. Oh, he wins.
Ah!
He wins. Black people, women, we know how much that he's gonna have alopecia in those spots. That's not funny. That's not funny at all. I thought that was her scalp. I thought she took her wig off and was having a bad day. But knowing that is him, and we saw his dreads before. Oh my gosh. And mind you, all of this started because after he went out of town for 12 days, had the private investigator discovered he already had clues that she was probably cheating. Confirmed
So he was like,
it,
the private investigator basically was like, go out of town and let us do what we do.
Yep.
Or he had to work. I don't know. Because it's football. So they have off-season stuff.
Well, no, he went out of town he went out of town in March. So he wasn't in season.
Okay. But what matters is it was triggered when he told her, you need to leave. Yep. You need to move out. And she said, I ain't going nowhere. She said, this is the life I want. And what's crazy to me is I know that there are girls out there who act crazy and in turn they get what they want. But I just don't understand how tearing up stuff in y'all's house is going to make him say, yeah, never mind. I do want you to stay.
I'm with you, SL. Where is his mama? That's the first thing I thought.
His mom probably called the private investigator and did all this. I just want to say these new school lawyers that these NFL players are using, which probably their agents are getting for them, are doing a superior job of ensuring that their clients are on the offense, not the defense of situations like this. Because like old school, the charges would have been dropped and he would have went on with his life. You can't do that no more. You got to do what he's done. You got to clear your name, or else you're always going to have that little ring of suspicion over your head because
especially
it was a woman's word against yours.
Well, one of the things, domestic violence is an automatic suspension from the NFL. So if you want to go ahead and you want to, so what happened is the NFL probably opened up the investigation. Now that charges were dropped completely and that he's out there and he's suing, I am pretty confident he will not see a 1 second, allowance of not being a
and you know what's so funny? You can tell this young man was smart in getting a good lawyer because he don't look like he's too swift. And how this all went down, clearly.
I commend those lawyers for what Attorney Redwine indicated, because getting on the offense also helps him communicate to all those potential other girls out there. I was going to call them tricks, but I cleaned it up first. That's not how he's rolling, right? Like, you can't just come and take advantage of him. A lot of people would have just let her walk away and would have been intimidated by the fact that he had those charges.
That a woman was,
You can't do that.
Yeah. But I think what took him over was she took his dog.
Probably.
Pulled his hair.
Divorce.
People in the chat keep saying she needs to go to jail. Look at that scalp. She needs to go to jail. But what's upsetting? She will
Look at
probably
that
not
picture
even be
here.
charged. She'll probably not be
Why not?
charged. And here's why. It's because of the fact that he was previously arrested and charged and then released. They don't usually like to then charge the other person because it could be brought up in court that like, oh, well, initially he was the aggressor and he was the one arrested, not her. So generally what they call it is like tainting the victim or tainting the case when you've already arrested one of the parties and then done the other. Plus, this is Williamson County, Texas. This is outside of the Austin, Texas area. It is super, super conservative. They don't necessarily see him as a victim. Although if you show that scalp, I absolutely believe he's a victim. And you tell those white folks, that lady stole his dog.
Stole his dog.
Well, they're also going to look at him. He's a big football player. He's much bigger than her, so she couldn't possibly hurt him. Okay, that's crap. But I have a feeling no charges are going to be filed anymore.
Oh, and look and on her is that her Instagram? She says she is a woman of God now.
Now she is.
Now, when's the last time a woman of God is stealing dogs and ripping hair out someone's head?
You know, everybody knows Jesus. That's what they say, but do they have him in his heart? That's only they know.
He needs to bankrupt her with this lawsuit. He needs to think about like, if I were him, I would take to the side and say, all right, I'm going to spend $500,000 teaching this chick a lesson.
Right.
And just pay for her with motions and blah, 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 blah.
Emotions,
Force it to trial. Do all of that. Because she does not have money for an attorney. And by the way, y'all, because an attorney is not going to take it on contingency for her. She is the defendant. She is going to have a good lawyer in the state of Texas is going to be a minimum $300, $400 an hour. Good luck, Buttercup.
Good luck, Buttercup. All right, everybody. This is a part of the show. Be sure to hit that like button. We really gave you a good show tonight. Thank you, Attorney Redwine, for joining us, Weiss and Turner. What a show tonight. Be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you already subscribed, be sure to hit the share button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. And as always, we love it that you all are engaged and dropping down in the chat. This is a part of the show that we go to get the verdict if these people are guilty or not guilty. First up, Adrien Broner and Jason, guilty or not guilty of taking those NBA players' money.
Taking the money without paying the proper tax to the people that should have been able to have it. Guilty.
Attorney Turner?
Look at that face. Yeah, he's guilty.
Attorney Redwine?
He is going to do so well in prison. He's going to be like the most popular man on the block. Guilty.
All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here. We're going to find Broner guilty. Guilty is charged. Next up, Joe Gatto. Ooh, poor Joe Gatto. Is he guilty or not guilty, Weiss? Did he bite that lady booty?
He's guilty of having a smart team around him, and he is guilty of planning his exit. He's good.
All right, Attorney Turner.
Yeah, he's guilty of playing that like zoo game a little too aggressively. He wasn't supposed to bite her like he was the lion.
Ooh, I thought he smacked that ass. I once had a bruise like that on my bottom because he was smacking it too much.
Was it fun though?
It was so much fun. But I had to say, okay, Pumpkin, that's enough. So I'm going to say not guilty.
Oh my goodness, because you like to slap it. All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here. We're gonna find Gatto. Gatto guilty. Guilty is charged. Next up is
rub it down.
Oh
no! We're gonna skip the Sauce Walker's protege, Sasso P. We know they're guilty. We saw it. They are just flat out guilty. What in the world? I don't even understand. Let's go to Sexyy Red. Is Sexyy Red guilty of having a contaminated coochie? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
Yes. Whatever you said, Your Honor, I agree. Because no.
Attorney Turner, where's your bleach at?
Isn't she the one that said let it breathe? Now we understand.
Oh wow, she got to air out that herpes. So it doesn't.
Let it bend over. Let it. Yeah.
Let that herpes breathe. Let that herpes breathe.
Sunlight is a good cure. All right, Attorney Redwine, guilty, not guilty.
Guilty, baby. That's a dirty pussy. She's guilty.
Dirty pussy. I'm calling out the judge here in Celebrity Court and Sexyy Red, baby, you are guilty. Like you just keep some antibiotics in your purse. Pop 1 or 2 every other week or something like that. You may become immune to it, but then we'll find something else that you can use. Last but not least,
Fair enough.
Next up, Diddy. All right, is Little Rod guilty or not guilty or of not having a strong case? Attorney Weiss?
That case probably should have never been filed to begin with. So Diddy is guilty if he thinks that this is going to let him off the hook. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Attorney Turner?
Yeah, Little Rod's guilty of slipping. Should have came correct. If he had more evidence, should have brought it.
All right, Attorney
Yeah,
Turner.
Little Rod's
Guilty. All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court. We're going to find Little Rod guilty. Guilty of not doing this right. Like, come on. You guys, who are these lawyers? Who did he go to get legal representation? All that he said he saw, this is the best they could do. I don't know. Last but not least, Xavier Worthy, is his girlfriend guilty or not guilty of sleeping around? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
He's guilty of following his heart and following her around.
Attorney Turner?
Yeah, she's guilty of being a little too passionate.
Oh, Attorney Redwine.
She is guilty of being nuts. Go to jail, girl. Go straight to jail. Don't pass go.
Right. I'm Al, and I'm the judge here. You're guilty of stealing that man's dog. Shame on you. You can steal a lot of things, but not the man's dog. All right. That is just not cool. You can't take a man.
Go get Big Red Sexy's cat. You know, there you go. She could steal that.
Not like everybody been stealing that.
Exactly.
I've been stealing that or trading it in. Tonight we saw it all. Sports stars scamming other athletes, comedians falling from grace, hip hop heartbreak turned homicide, influencers allegedly weaponizing fans, and millionaires suing over dogs and designer bags. The courtroom may close, but the consequences echo far beyond these headlines. In the court of public opinion, though, justice isn't just about guilt or innocence. It's about accountability. It's about influence and legacy. Some will bounce back. Others may be finished. So who do you believe? Who would you pay? Who's spinning the narrative and who's telling the truth? One thing's for sure, on this bench, fame never overrides facts. Gavel drop. Court is now adjourned. Thank you for joining us tonight, everybody.
Good night.